times like lose what they typically do against the Patriots. So I think that they'll try to take away the things that they know that they do well. They know that they rotate people in. They know that they rotate the defensive players in. They know that they have the running backs. But one of the things that people forget about is that Ajayi he ran for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are in our division. So, like, they have tape on him for years. So, like, I don't think that he'll be a major key. And then LeGarrette Blount has played for us for years. So we know his nuances, too. We know what he looks like when he gets ready to get the ball. We know what he looks like when he's getting ready to block. So, like, I think between those two, it won't be as effective as people think they are.
Yeah. I don't know if you're looking at the chat room at all, but
no,
the governor says Brady kisses his son on the lips. Weird. That is the most random comment, but I see it.
I can't see that right now, but I can guarantee you that before the governor's son got of age, the governor was kissing his damn son on the. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The governor was kissing his son on the lips too. It's just an Italian tradition. Brady's not really Italian, but I mean, I can't judge that man on what he does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it's funny that you bring that up. Like, that was on Boston radio all week long. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing that Brady kisses the kid on the lips?
Oh, my God.
It's preference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, it's how you show love to your kid. You know, at some age, the kid is going to get to a point where, like, hey, Daddy, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, stop doing
and
that.
If Brady still, if Brady still presses the issue then, you know, hey, we got discussion. But up until then, like, he just loves his kids, man. You can tell he loves his family. He loves his mom. He loves his dad. He loves his kids. I mean, him and Giselle obviously are in love. So, I mean, I don't really know what to say to that.
Now, the whole thing, and we're talking with Greggo. We got Greggo, XY Zone, on the line here. Now, with the comment that the kid made on the station, I'm sure you've heard of this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard it multiple times. Do you think Brady took it over the top? I mean, took it too far? You think his approach and his response was appropriate?
From an initial standpoint, Alex Reamer is the kid that you're talking about.
Right.
Let me just back it up a little bit. Alex Reamer is he's openly gay, and a lot of people on Boston radio that listen in, you know, they've been trying to figure out a reason to get him off the radio because they're really conservative and they just don't like him because of some of his standpoints. The people that work for the station, they love him because he causes controversy, and like that radio station WEI is all about controversy. None of the hosts really get along from a public standpoint. Like the morning show talks about the midday show talks about the morning show, and the morning show also talks about like the evening show. So like they don't have this happy-go-lucky thing. Reamer was on the morning show. A lot of the listeners wanted him on the late night show so they wouldn't have to listen to him, and he could be on for whoever's up late at night. So it just kind of give you a prelude to like how it came about. From a shock standpoint, Brady didn't even know anything about it. Like the morning show brought it up, and when they brought it up, Brady immediately was in, Papa Bear mode. Yeah, I'm gonna protect my kid, this, that, and the other. But I think after he had time to kind of like settle it down, he was like, I don't want this guy to lose his job. He made a mistake. Maybe he was just speaking out of his mind. But ultimately, that's his opinion. He don't want him to lose his job. But I think the whole setup was wrong. Like the morning show brought it in as a shock value, and it backfired on him. So I mean, Brady's been doing that for 16 years, I believe. So it's major that they keep him on air because ultimately he brings in a lot of viewers for, how candid he is with them. You don't get the Brady during those interviews that you get on TV. Like he actually answers questions. Like the same thing with Belichick. And I don't think, Belichick is separate from Brady and what they do, but the same thing with Belichick. Belichick does answer questions. He's not like the Belichick that we see on TV. So, I mean, I don't think Brady was out of line from just being complete shock value because I would be the same way about my kid. But at the same, he cleaned it up in the end as Brady always does.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he definitely came back around and talked about it more. But that's got to be your initial response as a parent. If somebody calls your kid anything, your first response is going to be, no, he's not. Or, how dare you talk about my kid like that? So, but I think he did come back to it. And a lot of people in Dallas radio, they trash Tom Brady. I think they literally hate him, which I'm sure a lot of people do.
Of course.
But if they win this Super Bowl, is this the end of Brady and Belichick, or was that whole story trash? Do you see them going their separate ways? Do you see Tom Brady retiring?
Well, it's just tricky because Guerrero, Brady's personal trainer, the guy who keeps Brady in shape, the guy that Belichick had removed from the facility, stated in one of the conferences that he and Belichick high-fived each other saying that, hey, we made news this week about him being moved. So, like, with that being said, it's just hard to say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody creates stories because they want to be the first one to report that, hey, something's wrong with the Patriots. There's a kink in the armor of the Patriots. Belichick says he wants to be there. Brady says he wants to play till he's like 45. They have not made a move to bring in another quarterback that can take over when Brady's done, unless there's a kink where Garoppolo can get out of, because Garoppolo hasn't signed. Give me one too, please. We gotta walk that way. Where are we going? Sorry about that, bad radio. But Garoppolo hasn't signed a long-term deal with the 49ers. So the only way I can see anything that's breaking it up is if Garoppolo doesn't sign a long-term deal. If Cousins goes to the 49ers and Garoppolo goes back to New England, then we'll know there's something up. But other than that, I don't see anything happening with him.
Yeah. All right, well, appreciate you.
That's not the answer.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, Greggo, for coming on once again.
I appreciate you, Ben, for inviting me on.
Yeah. So, I real quick, I said Greggo the Great, and Mocha Bella's in the chat room like, what? What did he just say? That's my nickname for him. I'm going to call him Greggo the Great.
Yep. He's been doing that forever.
But, man, appreciate you for coming on. Man, you are always out and about. Whenever I come back to Atlanta, we got to hang out because I know you know probably 50,000 spots that I don't even know. And I went to college there.
Ben,
so.
I got you.
But appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too.
Later.
Right.
All right, that was Greggo. Man, great to get him on the show. Had to get him on, obviously, with this game going down tomorrow. So, we have the opportunity of interviewing Kieran Mattison. You're probably not familiar with that name. Kieran Mattison, excuse me. He is the manager of the French national baseball team. He is the first African-American or first black manager of the French men's national team. So he's going to be coming on the show here in just a moment. And it's awesome to be able to interview him. So we'll get into that interview here in just a moment. We're going to take a break, and then we will be right back. You tune into the BS3 Sports Show, Super Bowl show. Who's your pick? Who do you have? Drop it in the chat room. I would love to know, but we'll be right back.
Yeah. From a young buck, all we ever dreamed of was making enough money one day to move up out the hood. Meanwhile, every day, we robbing hood. All day, we robbing hood. It's been a long time. I should've never left you, but I let him convince me you wasn't special. A little truth became lies told. Look what they made of us. Only gave us horror stories of how you hated us. Took our dreams and in return only produced rage in us. And if we stayed loyal, then a dead end is awaiting us. So we chase acceptance at the cost of ourselves, cause the narrative tells we'll end up in the coffin of jail. Yeah, after raw, nothing beautiful grows there. Just the same old guns, drugs, pimps, hoes there. We drink the Kool-Aid and start despising our own hair. Then the friction comes, it's obvious what was sown here. Media pushing false narratives in disguise. Our kids deprived of vision, just hoping to stay alive. I'll be damned if I don't show them the limit is the sky. So when they look at themselves, they find worth in their eyes. What up? Hate ourselves to chase their wealth, not knowing the priceless jewels and the cards we were dealt. Found power in the struggle to carry the weight we held. If this concrete could speak the stories that it would tell, the will to prevail when they killed us threw us in jail for being just who we are. The path was paved well. Nowadays it's nothing more than just a story to sell. Only to escape thinking is the only way to excel. One man's trash is another man's treasure, unless he sees it as a treasure first. I guess it's just a rich man's curse when we see our more is less of pipe dreams under the pressure about to burst. So for success we reach, get paid, we leave our own communities for the suburbs to seek peace. But what's deep, they plotting while we sleep to go and take the hood we left for the gold that's hidden beneath. We golden.
Save me too. What about me? What about me? Save me too. Don't act like you forgot about me. You know who I am. You've been where I've been. Oh, save me too.
That was R. Swift featuring Kyra Dene called Robin Hood. Go get that wherever music is sold. Appreciate Andrew Parker for coming into the chat room. Appreciate that, brother. He said Eagles, excuse me. Eagles wanted too bad to lose. You got a great point right there. I mean, they're in this game. They're in this game for a reason. And they're going to have to take every single advantage that they have because they're playing against Tom Brady. And this is not going to be an easy feat. Holly Newsom definitely is agreeing. I'm assuming, Holly, that you're an Eagles fan. So we'll definitely see. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens here. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm picking the Patriots. It's not because of my hate of the Eagles, but it's because the Patriots have Tom Brady, number one. Number two, they've been here before. Number three, Nick Foles. I mean, what are we going to see in Nick Foles? And the game plan that Belichick is going to cook up is going to be pinpointed at every single player probably on the Eagles. Now, if the Eagles do win, I will give them a round of applause and a congratulations. And finally, the Eagles can come back with some type of argument with us. With us, I mean the Cowboys. Broff says, stop lying, Ben. We know you never pick Philly. You're right. I would never pick Philly. I can't do it. I'm sorry. And I like Nick Foles. I like multiple players on that team. but it's just still hard for me to pick Philly. So in a couple of minutes, we're going to have Kieran Mattison. Like I said, he's the coach of the French men's national baseball team.